Hey guys, how we doing? This is Rebecca Meecher Cummings. I am in a different room in my house this time around because I'm waiting to see if my cat will come back. But anyways, I just wanted to check in with you all and see how you're doing. How are things going? Man, it's been quite a week, huh? Couple weeks. Um, I, um, I, yes, I mean, I cannot tell you because like across the board, like every client that I've seen and yoga student that I've seen this week has in some way been affected by what's been going on in our country for the last 2 weeks. And I've been talking a lot in the last few videos, especially about the practice of self-care. And I got the feedback recently that, yeah, I would like to focus on my self-care. However, I don't necessarily have the money to do that right now. So what I want to share in this video is just a few suggestions around resourcing, having some free resources that are available to us all. Yeah. So, and I don't think that's often like the word resources itself is not necessarily always thought of as free, right? I know in my mind I have the idea of resources as being, oh yeah, I go to the mental health clinic, I go get the medication, I go buy this, and I have the money to do this. So anyways, here are my list of the top kind of free resources I think that are really important for us to utilize in our own, not just election recovery, but just in our own mental, emotional recovery and well-being. And the first free resource we have is as long as you're alive, as long as you're here in this day, we have the breath, right? So we can take those deep breaths in, deep breath out. Good. We can take breaks as we need to. Yeah, we can. I have a friend who goes to the bathroom to take breath breaks. I mean, you want to make sure that there's no one kind of like, doing any kind of business in there while you're in there. But hopefully the bathroom is smelling fresh enough. You can go in there and take a deep breath if you need to at work or whatever. So we have the resource of our breath, right? We have the resource to pause. I find some people like to count their breath, like, and I think like anger management teaches that, right? Like you count to 10 or out to 10. I don't really find that so effective for me because I end up just kind of like spiraling and then I like beat myself up if I can't count to 10. So what I have found really helpful is to just see where I am in time and space, right? Because often what I'm reacting to is something that's happened way long ago, right? Something that could be even like pre-verbal. Yeah, I actually felt that. I felt that during this election. I felt this kind of anxiety in my body that I couldn't even like name where I first felt it, right? And so just by taking that breath and noticing where I am in time and space, that's a free resource to us, So I like to, for me, the way I do that is I take the deep breath and then I feel where my hands and my feet are in time and space. Yeah, so that just helps me to kind of get back into my body again. The second free resource that we have is gratitude, right? And it can be hard, right? I'm not knocking that. It's hard to focus on things we're grateful for when it feels like so much is so chaotic, right? So I just want to encourage you to have a daily practice of gratitude, and that can look like different things. Some people want to write a gratitude journal. Before I wake up in the morning, I focus on what I'm grateful for. Sometimes I'll put on a YouTube video about gratitude specifically. If you want some links to that, let me know. And I listen to that as I'm waking up and I'm brushing my teeth, doing my thing. And that is really helpful. I can tell the difference in my day and in my brain and how I'm reacting or responding to things when I'm taking my daily gratitude vitamin. Right? Let's take our daily gratitude vitamin. That is a free vitamin that we can resource, right? The third free resource available to us is our attitude, right? And an attitude, I know, it's kind of like a muscle, right? So there is kind of this practice and learning how to work with your attitude. But just on the most basic level, one way that I like to kind of reframe my attitude when I'm in a really triggering situation. I actually use all three of those first practices. I use breath, I use gratitude, And then I ask if you have a connection with a higher power, Father, Mother, God, universe, spirit, whatever, right? I ask my higher power how my higher power would have me see this situation. I ask my higher power for the healing of my mind in this situation, right? And for you, that may look like something completely different, right? But I think when I'm really stuck in a painful emotion, I need a connection with something bigger than my idea of myself in that moment. So breath, gratitude, asking for a change in perception. That is a free resource, right? The next free resource available to us is our interpersonal connections, our friendships, right? Our inner circle of friends, our outer circle of friends. So one practice I really like to do with my clients, right, is I have them kind of draw out a mandala, and in their, so a mandala is this kind of like sacred circle, right? And it's this symbol, an archetype that's existed across many multitude of traditions. And that's a whole rabbit hole I'm not going to go down right now. But in this kind of sacred circle, you start to write out who is in your inner circle of friends and connections, right? And on the outer circles is more of like the people you see like a couple times a month, right? Or the people that are kind of protecting that inner circle. Could be like your therapist or, spiritual guide or advisor, right? And so that inner circle that you have there, it may not be that big. It may be 1, 2, 3 people, maybe 1, 2, 3 friends. But the importance is that that inner circle feels super safe to you. These are people that you feel physically, emotionally, and mentally safe to be around, right? And that's going to take a lot of honesty because a lot of us don't want to admit when we're in toxic relationships. So I think that that's another free resource available, and I offer that to you. You can journal about that or write about that. Just kind of like, who is in this inner circle for me? Who do I know I can go to and they're not going to shame me? They're not going to judge me? Who can I go to that I don't have to center myself around? That's a really amazing way to kind of navigate that. Who am I centering myself with, right? They're probably not going to be in your inner circle, and that's okay, right? And I've noticed as I've gotten older, and I've had a mentor of mine explain this to me, as I get older, my wide net of friends, right? I'm actually introverted. A lot of you don't believe that because I'm from New York and I've learned how to be extroverted. But a lot of that wide net of friends, and like I think especially this has been promoted in social media and all of that, it starts to shrink. And that's okay, right? Because I can't be everything to everyone, right? So that's a free resource available, is knowing who our safe people in our lives are. And that may not be a professional therapist. That may just be your best friend. That may actually be, it could be a pet, ideally not necessarily. The pets are part of the inner circle, but let's also focus on people too, because we're social creatures. So the next free resource available is movement. So, and this, can be controversy. It's like, if you are not able-bodied, this is a little bit more difficult. But if you are able-bodied, whether at whatever sense you're able-bodied, it could be from the waist up, it could be your entire body, and movement that is fun for you, right? You don't need a gym membership to move your body. You can go for walks every day, right? You can kind of do rotations with your shoulders, your neck, your arms, your hands, right? You can start to shake out tension. That's a great way to move your body. You can put on music and dance in the living room. I like the hula hooping, right? You can get a hula hoop and go outside. So movement is another incredible resource. And the primary thing to consider with your movement is to make sure the movement is fun, right? Elisa Vitsi in her book Woman Code talks a lot about this. A lot of people get really headstrong about what their goals are in terms of their exercise, and actually kind of like pushing too hard in exercise can be counter to the results you want. So what does that mean? So if you're not having fun in your exercise, chances are your hormones aren't going to be too happy either, right? So the hormones actually can get really off balance if we're not enjoying our movement. I've had experiences too where I never felt more like, whatever the word fit, I don't know what that horrible trigger word, and I'm sorry, but I've never felt more like good in my body just by taking walks and doing like gentle yoga. Yeah, and that worked really well for my constitution. Yeah. So that's another free resource available. You can do that for 5 minutes. You can do that for 30 minutes, right? You can take breaks in between work, but finding some kind of movement is a free resource available, okay? All right, so then the last, there's two more. So the last two resources that we have, that free resources that my go-tos, is physical touch. So that could look like hugs, holding hands, massage, or asking for like a massage, right? And depending on the kind of the strength of our interpersonal relationships, this may be lacking in some areas of our life. But that's also a free resource, and that's a whole other topic in and of itself as well. And then lastly, the free resource we have available is communication. So communicating our needs, communicating and asking for help, communicating with the people we feel safe with in that inner circle, communicating with our spiritual guides and mentors, communicating with our families what our needs are. There's also the resource of communicating our boundaries, right? So that's a free resource we all have. And for many of these things on this list, it does require a certain level of skill and training, right? And it's going to probably be messy. Like if you're first trying these practices, it's not going to be perfect, and there's in no way any expectation for this to be perfect. So I just wanted to give you some ideas for those of you that are interested in this concept of what are my free resources. Yeah. So that's it, and I hope you're all taking really amazing care of yourselves. I love you, and signing off. Okay, bye.